Yeah. What started as Kai Cenat's dream of building a streamers university where everyone can come in and collaborate with biggest streamers, get opportunities and stuff, somehow turned into distracts, friendship, fallout, and creators politics. Everyone is talking this, everyone is talking that, and we are asking what's really going on. Everyone is asking what's really happening here and there. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, Kai Cenat being one of the biggest streamers in the world, you know, um, opening up a streamers university that was last year. The first edition was premiered last year, and the internet wanting more. Yeah. So here we're here to know what's really going on in the creators industry. You understand? So the story has been moving around. I know you've seen the diss tracks. You've seen videos. You've seen live streams where everyone is saying this, saying that. So we're here to know what really happened. What's really going on? How did this start? Who actually brought in that thing to fall out? Who started this whole thing? How did it start? You already know. We are back with this story and we are kicking it in another one. Yeah. So, of course, that was last year when Kai Cenat announced the opening up Streamers University, where streamers can come in and showcase their talents, what they do. And this is not only this is not only about coming in to just do streaming and stuff. It's a very, very big opportunity for them to get, work with big creators, get opportunities, and of course, be exposed to the creators industry. That's how they get more views, more attention, and stuff like that. So this whole thing started last year when he opened up that he came up with that idea. That was his dream, and he did it, and it worked. So the return, of course, that came in a few months back. That was, not even a few months, actually last month. That was June when he decided to, to come up with the second edition or the return of the Streamers University. Of course, last year it was a successful one because people came in, they showcased what they had. So this year he was like, I'm back. Because last year he did it and he took a break from all that stuff. But the university, of course, has been there. So he came back like, it was like, yo, I'm here, and we are doing the edition of the Streamers University. So after announcing that, the internet, of course, had to react in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? Everyone reacted in a certain way. But of course, his thing was, I'm going to put the way of getting into this time around. Some of them were excited. Some of them were, of course, they did campaigns and stuff on how people begging for, for the university to let them in. Of course, it was an application thing. So they were like, will they accept me? Will they do this for me? So all that was going on was many creators consider this as a very, very big opportunity. And it is a very big opportunity because not everyone was going to be accepted at the university, and not everyone was going to, because in the first place, after announcing that, of course, when they announce, they get so many applications, so many people send applications. No, I want to be here. I want to be invited. I want to be, accepted here. And if they need that attention, of course, the creator industry is all about attention. who knows you, who's going to watch your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So after all that, people treated it as basically being drafted or selected in the NBA. You know, so the XXL freshman list. You know what I'm saying? So after all that, this wasn't just an event. You know what I'm saying? For smaller creators, like I told you earlier, this was an opportunity for them to get recognized, to showcase what they have to the world or to the industry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course, missing out on Streamers University wasn't just like missing a party. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. To many creators, this was like missing a life-changing opportunity. That's why everyone was like, "Ooh, will I be on the list? Will I go through? Will I be selected to be part of this season of the Streamers University?" You know, so and of course that's when the applications opened. You know, applications were opened and everyone was excited to apply. Was usually when they open that application session, they receive so many applications. Everyone is excited to be on the list. Everyone is applying. So many creators, of course, made skits. They started promoting it publicly. You know, tagging Kai Cenat and stuff like that. And of course, they did a lot of things, exciting things, skits, what and what. You know, so that they can be seen, so that they can get the, the attention from Kai, so that they can be selected. You know, so and this is where expectations can be dangerous, because in this case you're expecting two things: either to be selected or not to be selected. There's always the one who's going to win on that list and one who's not going to win on the list. So, and guess what? Kai Cenat reveals the names on the list that was selected to be part of the Streamers University. And of course, that's when things started getting worse, because some creators were celebrating, some were disappointed. They were like, "Ooh, how am I not on the list? How comes I'm supposed to be there?" So they had mixed minds in there, like, what's really going on? I'm supposed to be here and they have not selected me, stuff like that. So and in that very moment, that's when everyone was like, this one, and even their fans, they were like, how comes this person's name is not on the list? How? So as some creators were celebrating, others were disappointed because they were not selected, and it felt like an NBA draft. So then once the names were announced, the dream of a Streamer University was no longer just a dream. That's when it became like a competition in one way or the other. You understand? So then a lot of things started coming in. Surely, a lot of things started coming in here and there. This one is saying this, the other one is saying that, and you know what happens? Then people were concerned. Like, fans expected some people to be on the list, of which they didn't make it to the list. So this is when FunnyMike, that creator, dropped that diss track titled "Undrafted." So that song also brought in some questions like, what's going on now? Are the creators becoming this now? Are they trying to diss each other? Because for him, of course, even fans were like, how comes this guy is not on the list? Because of course he's one of the biggest streamers. He's also big. So he dropped this track titled "Undrafted." Like I told you earlier, it sounded like NBA draft, so he titled it Undrafted. So, and then here comes another guy, DDG. DDG also dropped a track dissing Streamer University, and everyone was now concerned, like, what's going on? So, and another guy in there was Rakai. Oh, is Rakai in that case? Rakai, of course, came in, and of course, you already know Rakai is not just another creator, because Rakai is viewed as another extended family to to Kai Cenat, because they've been tied, and he's also known to be one of the guys that Kai Cenat introduced to the creators, to the creators industry. It helped him to, elevate his numbers and stuff. They were close, or they are close, I would say. I don't know. But so he's not just another creator. So everyone expected him to be on the other side of the story, supporting Kai Cenat. So of course DDG dissing Kai is not a big deal. Of course, we expect that, or FunnyMike, we can understand, the sides can understand. But then Rakai, so we couldn't take that just like that, because they were viewed as friends, somehow family in the creators industry, because they were together in one way or the other. So FunnyMike dropping Undrafted. So in that moment, everything felt like, man, like I told you, this thing was now an NBA draft. So he was saying everything like you hear it in the title. He was saying, man, you left me off the team. You left me off the team, man. Why am I not selected on the team? Because Streamer University was like NBA team. So this is when disappointment became entertainment. It's becoming now entertainment in a certain way. So because this is when again DDG also came in shooting straight to the Streamer University, and everyone who is connected to it was like, man, for me, I don't care. I don't want to know about stuff. And it was again around this time when internet started picking sides, and all these creators had to. This is when they started taking sides. Me, I'm supporting this one. I stand with him. In this case, you understand. So we had the so-called Team Kai. Those who are like, man, you can't. This guy has done this and this for us, and we stand with him. The likes of Duke Dennis, the Agent 0000, AMP also was seen as those were more like they were neutral, or not, they were not dissing, they were neutral, supporting somehow Kai, and some remain neutral. Then there were also the other side of the story. These ones were saying, for us, we are no, we don't rock with this guy. What he did is not, we are not okay with it. They started picking sides. And we saw, of course, FunnyMike in the first place, DDG, this other guy, Rakai, Andre, and some other critics, of course. There were so many in there. So, but those were the big characters in there. So, they started picking sides. So, in that case, we also had this 48 hours. That's what I was looking for. 48 hours, But 48 hours, they have been kind of famous lately in that situation, because, of course, Kai gave these guys 48 hours to delete all those diss tracks that were targeting Streamer University and Kai, So it was like, I've given you 48 hours to delete that stuff, or else I'm going to be forced to go in the studio. And of course, even his song starts with that. He gave them 48 hours, and those guys didn't do anything. They didn't let me hop in the studio. I'm also here. And he, of course, he dropped a banger right there. So, but those 48 hours also did a song. Of course, FunnyMike and Rakai. They did a song called 48 Hours. It's also changed everything. It was like it's no longer about Streamer University and those people who are not selected, and everyone was giving their opinions, but it was viewed now as friends choosing sides. People are choosing sides. Me, I'm not standing with you. Me, I'm supporting this one. What you did, it was not good, so I'm not taking your side. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna choose sides in this case. So at that moment, that's when of course Kai Cenat hopped in the studio because he gave them 48 hours to delete whatever they had. Dropped the diss tracks against him and the Streamer University, but this guy didn't do anything. So he was like, man, I'm here. I'm a hop in the studio and I'm a diss y'all. And guess what he did? He dropped that song called ABK. EBK, I mean. So that song, of course, some fans are referring it as Everybody Killer or Everybody Cares, something like that. But it's more likely, maybe we don't know. But of course, everyone is saying whatever they wanna say according to them. But some of them are referring it to as Everybody Killer, EBK. So in this song, of course, he gave them level, man. He gave them level. Here, of course, he was targeting DDG, FunnyMike, Rakai, Ray. Of course, you can check it out. The lyrics are, they are wild, man. It was like, man, I'm gonna shoot all of you and all other people criticizing him and the Streamer University. Was like, man, I don't care. It's not about me or the Streamer University, or I don't care. I'm here as a participant, in this thing because you started it. So he dropped that track, and of course, he was like, I'm also here. If you wanna beef with me, I'm going to fire back to you. I don't care if we are friends. It doesn't matter. I'm going to shoot back to you. Because in this case, everyone was like, maybe it's not like I'm defending the university or something, but I'm defending who I am. I'm also a participant. Why are you telling me what you wanna tell me? Because yet I didn't select you, or because no one knows. Maybe they have a department that selects who's supposed to be here and who's not supposed to be here. Maybe these people didn't meet the criteria, that's why they were not selected. But for them, they were like, no, Kai, something like so. It was like, no, I'm going to fire back. I'm not going to just sit here and watch you, trying to destroy me. And I just keep quiet. I'm going to fire back. And that's what he did. So the story there and then turned around. So everyone was like, ooh, Kai has reported. Of course, in my view, I think even his song got more views, and everyone was excited to see him dropping that track. It was given more attention than these other people who dropped these tracks. Because I think in the first 5 hours, if not 4, it had 1 million of views on YouTube. That means people are really waiting to hear what he had to say in that case. Yeah, so that's how the story then turned around after his track. So in that case, of course, Kai Cenat, because I'm here, I don't know. I can't come here and say this one won or what and what, but of course, I think in one or the other, it has helped Streamer University because now it got us, man. It got people's attention, and everyone now knows about it. It's not about winning, but of course, in this case, I think Kai Cenat gains more in this, because everyone is now talking about Streamer University, and of course, FunnyMike also got, he got the attention, and DDG, more visibility, stuff like that. And Rakai, in this case, I think is arguably the real story now, because of course people viewed him as a friend to Kai Cenat, but at the end of the day, he was making tracks with people who are shooting against Kai Cenat. That was FunnyMike. So it's I don't know. I don't know what happens because we can't tell what really happened. If they were serious, if they were doing what, we don't really know. But just Rakai, it's a real storyline in there. You understand? So of course, I think that's a story about the whole situation that was happening. Of course, more things are still coming in here and there. Of course, yesterday he did the edition that was 15th of this month, July. He did the first day of Streamer University 2026, and of course, it had massive people watching, and people were really engaging in it, and they were really excited. He invited so many people there, and millions of people were viewing stuff, and they were like, okay, Streamer University goes back. Of course, because of the other attention, it also added some hype on it, because people were really excited to see who was invited, who was not invited, how these ones that were invited going to perform in the first place. You understand? So that's that's basically the Streamer University story. You've seen this track, you've seen this and that, So yeah, in this sense, in this case, and in this sense, I want you to tell me, do you think this was a real beef, or we can consider it as this smartest marketing that content creation has ever seen? Because it was smart. I would say if it was about marketing, and this whole thing was about marketing, of course, this was a strong story, and because regardless, everyone said something, everyone reacted, everyone, so many things happened. We can't really tell that if it was a real story or whatsoever, but everyone did something in this case. So, a Streamer University was supposed to help content creators know or learn how to win on the internet, but of course, it has brought in one of the biggest lessons a person can ever learn. Of course, attention is success, surely, and controversy is also something sometimes a person would 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 have to go through to get somewhere. You understand? So, Streamer University, of course, I would say it has done something, of course, and it's still doing something. I can't really say it has not done something. It has done something for sure. In this case, of course, and I think sometimes the biggest lessons, the biggest stories or whatsoever can come from just a list someone has made or something. Yeah, so it might turn out to be a big thing at the end of the day. So I want you to tell me, what do you think about this story? What do you think? Do you think this was real? Do you think it was about, tension and stuff? But whatsoever, whatever happened. And here we are. We don't know what's happening next. The story is still going on, and is this all done because the university did the edition, of course, of recent, or it was real stuff? Where does this leave Rakai? Did they just do this because they wanted to, I don't know. But you let me know. What do you think about all this? Yeah. So I'm going to see you later. Bye bye.